is because the Republicans told us. I don't have to go to a Democrat. You're a Democrat now. I don't have to ask you. Because I can actually ask the committee you used to be staff for, the Committee on Oversight and Accountability. The majority members, I'm going to hold this up so downtown Sterling Brown, our director, can show it, okay? This is a report written by the Republicans, by James Comer's committee, by the Oversight Committee, sorry. And the Oversight Committee found absolutely nothing. They went through all of these pages. It's a multi-page report, right? And they didn't find anything on Biden, so they've gone back. But I want you to just explain to our viewers who don't understand what the Oversight Committee does. Do they have full subpoena power and ability to investigate if there is wrongdoing? Can they do it?
Yes, they can. I mean, that's why this committee exists in the first place, Joy. There's a reason why this committee uniquely doesn't have a whole lot of legislative and policy jurisdiction, because that's not their job. Their job isn't to make laws. Their job is to conduct oversight. And they are given very, very broad powers in order to conduct those investigations. They have unilateral subpoena authority. They have deposition authority. They can call hearings. They can do whatever they want. And so when they put out reports like this, with all the footnotes and all the pages that they have, they've had every tool you can imagine to compile these kinds of reports. And if they don't have the goods in this report, if they don't have the goods on Biden right now, nothing else this impeachment inquiry is gonna be conducted, is gonna find anything that they couldn't.
And yet and I'm going to go back to you, Congressman, for a moment. Kevin McCarthy tweeted, the Speaker of the House, ostensive, said the American people deserve to know that public offices are not for sale and the federal government is not being used to cover up the actions of a politically connected family. You gave a speech that I actually posted on my Instagram because it was so good. I posted a bunch of it, in which you did talk about what sure did sound like the government being used to cover up the actions of a politically connected family. It just happens to be it's the Trump family. Talk a little bit about what you would like to see, because Congress does have to investigate corruption, whether it's a Democrat or Republican. That is your part of your job. What corruption do you think should be investigated that is not?
Look, there is no bigger corruption or scandal in modern American politics than what the Kushners have done with the Trump crime family while he was in the White House. Jared Kushner and Ivanka received $2 billion with a B, mere months, 2 to 3 months after leaving the White House from the Saudi government. We know that Jared was in the White House. He was the lead person on the Middle East. He got rid of the first Secretary of State. He was the one that facilitated a massive trades deal, of course, we know, with Saudi Arabia. Has no real experience, yet receives $2 billion 2 months after he leaves the Trump White House. Now that needs to be investigated. The Republicans are completely hypocritical, trying to link the president, trying to link the president's family, where, of course, we know that they didn't work in the White House. They had no connection to anything to do with government policy. Yet here we have Jared Kushner and the Kushners that are profiting in the billions of dollars. That is a scandal we should be looking at. That right now is a huge grift, and the American people deserve an investigation, and we should be slamming the Republicans every single day on this issue.
How has Mr. Comer and other committee leaders responded to your request to have an investigation on that?
Well, look, I mean, obviously the House Democrats on the committee are united, and our leader, Jamie Raskin, of course, is there. But James Comer just turns the other way. He's a complete hypocrite. He talks about trying to do oversight to save the American people resources, yet here we have the biggest grift in modern American politics, where Jared Kushner is essentially using his office, clearly has committed, in my opinion, massive crimes, yet is not being investigated. And so we are demanding, and we're going to demand every single day, that Jared Kushner and the Kushners be investigated for their time in the White House. What were their connections to Donald Trump, and what is Jared Kushner actually doing to receive $2 billion, and what did he do, or what, unfortunately, secrets did he sell to actually get this kind of access?
Let me, because I'd like to know the answer to that, too, given all that Saudi Arabia is taking ownership of in the United States and what they're digging and getting involved into, and the fact that an American resident journalist was killed, perhaps at their behest. Let me play what Matt Gaetz, one of Kevin McCarthy's other bosses, just said on our colleague Ari Melber's show about a little while ago.
Kevin McCarthy is going to advance an actual impeachment on Joe Biden, a lot like he was going to advance an impeachment of Ali Mayorkas. Remember back in January of this year, he kept saying we were going to impeach Mayorkas, and the people that were blocking his speakership were blocking the impeachment of Mayorkas. Well, once Kevin got power, all of that just went by the wayside. And I think you're witnessing the same gaslighting and the same illusion and the same mirage right here. He doesn't really mean it. He knows he broke the deal in January. He knows there are enough of us in the Republican conference who want to hold him to that deal. And so he's throwing impeachment out like an ill-cast lure, and he has no real intent to follow through.
You know, hide your teenage daughters. Let's that's it, though, isn't it? This was a deal that Kevin McCarthy made with people like that guy, who he promised he would impeach a bunch of people, including Joe Biden and Secretary Mayorkas. That's all this is. He cut a deal to get the speakership.
Right, a deal which, by the way, they all denied existed up until the other day. Just want to point that out. And just to show again, this is insane. We have right now the entire House of Representatives being held hostage by the insurrection law firm of, Comer, Jordan, Gates, Green, and Santos. That's how far gone this Republican Party is right now, that the weakest speaker in American history can't do anything, can't move any legislation, can't get anything done. He just has to give in every single day to these lunatics. And let me just be very clear here. This is a massive political gift for Joe Biden. For all the conversation happening right now about his age, his fitness, and by the way, how can you not be fit to hold office but mastermind a criminal, multinational, global, multi-million-dollar criminal front? I don't know how you can do all that.
Apparently he's
magical. That's an amazing skill set that he has there if he can pull that off. But it's like they are taking away the best week that they have had in terms of the Biden narrative, and now they've hijacked it with this impeachment nonsense, and that is a preview of what you're going to see in 2024. You're not going to see Republicans talking about the economy and inflation.
Doesn't help them.
They're going to relitigate the last election.
Or abortion.
They're going to relitigate the last election, and they're going to be talking about impeaching Joe Biden and all these delusional grievances that they have.